Plat.
You want to know what I hate? New Game Plus. New Game Plus sucks, and no one is ever going to tell me any different. What do you think?
I kind of beg to differ.
Mm-hmm.
I think New Game Plus, having trophies for them, has a certain place in the
Mm-hmm.
trophy landscape,
Okay.
but not one that I would say should be there that often. You know, it's
Mm.
kind of like if you go on a nice warm holiday after 2 weeks, you're ready to go back to your cold environment. Maybe that's a very typical Irish thing, but um, this whole fad of New Game Plus being added after the fact or after
Mm.
the plat, it's kind of becoming a bit grating because it seems to be showing up in the big long Sony exclusives, and it's like, yeah, I love the games, but it's always for a bronze or a silver.
Mm.
And, you know, with Miles Morales, it's actually built into the plat list. But being an OCD completionist, I prefer that than to get a DLC update like 2 months after I thought I have it done. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, how many new game pluses have you stumbled across in the wild recently, and how many of them have you gone for? Or I'm guessing none based on your intro there, but
Well, it's what sparked this was Ghost of Tsushima. So I
mm,
got the platinum. I was happy with that. Platinum. I was happy with the platinum. I enjoyed the game a lot. There were some things that didn't necessarily click with me, but the
what?
game overall is I actually feel
How
like
dare you
in
say
danger
that?
saying that, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's a pretty controversial opinion these days. I know that a lot of people are kind of shooting for Ghost of Tsushima as like game of the year and things like that, but
Game
um
of the generation.
I'm just going to quickly preface that with this and say I think it is a great game. I love ninjas. I love samurai. I love the Japanese landscape, and I think it's probably the most beautiful game I've played all generation in terms of just like the open world and things like that. But there was just some of that kind of box checking open world
Dig up,
tropes.
Dan. Dig up. Dig
It was
up.
just the open world tropes that had grated at me a little bit. But anyway, back to the new game plus. I think that I was checking my Ghost of Tsushima trophy list, and lo and behold, what do I see but a B rating for Ghost of Tsushima
With
after
the
me just
plat.
getting the platinum. Yeah,
Ooh, harsh.
B B B.
I'm a
like
five-star man. I'm a
yeah.
five-star man.
I'm at least an A, come on. But after the platinum, in such a long game, you expect at least, to have that A rating, even if you don't have that S. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I was really surprised to see that. But it's just, maybe it's a good indication of just how much everyone loved that game. I think that is the case, obviously, from what I've seen online. Everyone just adores the game,
Mm-hmm.
and despite some of the open world shortcomings that I felt were there with the game.
Just in case anyone comes after us for daring to criticize Ghost of Tsushima, I'm on the fence. I haven't played it, so leave me out of it. Just get him.
Yeah,
Just
me.
just go for him.
Yeah,
I have no dog in this fight.
but to be expected to replay a 40-hour game straight away
Yeah.
is it's just mad. Like, I know, okay, no one's expecting
They're not
me to
standing
play.
in the room going, now you have to start again. All right.
But it's
Yeah.
just, from our perspective, trying to finish the game 100%, or get as many trophies as possible.
There is a resignation to it where it's like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
do it. Like I'm going through Days Gone at the moment. Another classic example of a game to get some robust new game plus trophies. And I mean, I wouldn't say it was the greatest game ever. I enjoyed the first playthrough and it got a bit better as it went on. But that new game plus playthrough, I've kind of found myself playing it in a way I've never played a game before, as in I'm so passive. It's so in the background to what I'm actually doing, and I'm doing it on survival 2, like the hardest difficulty, so there's no fast travel and everything like that, and yet I still seem to be doing it a lot faster than the first playthrough. Now, it is handy with New Game Plus in the sense that, you know, you're rarely starting from scratch again. You know, I've got all the weapons and like upgrades and stuff like that. So, I mean, there is a little bit of a side note with that. That okay, New Game Plus, you're going to be playing it, you know, the entire game again, but at least you've got some toys to play with. But it's just it like Days Gone especially is just you're saying Ghost of Tsushima is the classic kind of like tick the box, like go here, go there. But at least it's in a very unique setting with a wonderful art style and for all from what I've seen, a very interesting story.
Yeah,
Days
yeah,
Gone is pretty cookie cutter. You mean zombies, biker, missing my wife, and I'm angry climbing a ladder, you know, like all those kind of very, very beaten gaming tropes.
yeah.
So, like, I know I'm going to get 2 gold and silver when I finish it, but I'm just like, is it worth it? Like, and to remove fast travel as well, it's just like, come on. You know,
I actually think the setting of Days Gone is beautiful. I love that, like
Oregon
Alpine.
is a beautiful setting,
Yeah,
but I mean, ultimately, it is just a zombie game.
yeah, yeah,
Like at its core, I know you can distill everything down to something that simple, but it doesn't do anything unique within that setting. It's still it's all gun focused, and
yeah.
so like Ghost of Tsushima, at least has an onus on sword play and things like that.
Ghost of Tsushima to me, is the last thing I'll say about Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of
This has
Tsushima.
accidentally turned into a Ghost of Tsushima like
The only
session.
thing I'll say about it is that it's like an Assassin's Creed game, like the older Assassin's Creed games, but it's really good. It's really really good. You know, it's like a really good example of what that game could be, but it still has a lot of the shortcomings of that. But yeah, I think Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, they're great examples of, you know, that thrown in New Game Plus, and like I can see the benefit that you know, bringing people back to play the game again a second time, especially a few months after the game's been released.
Yeah.
That's it's a good idea, and I do appreciate that. And it's always nice to have like a reward for doing, you know, an extra thing in the game, like finishing it with all your gear, all your upgrades. Might be fun to just fly through it, you know, decimating everyone with all your array of equipment. It's just that, especially for say for me who might pick the game up a little bit later with Ghost of Tsushima, and then this trophy list is already there, you know, the additional trophies. Well, then it just becomes like another step to completion.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like that, I
it's
think for trophy hunters though, like we tend to take longer with the game anyway. So in order to get the plat, we've already kind of seen everything there is to see, more than I'd say more casual gamers or people that don't really care for trophies. Like we play a game to like its death to get that platinum.
yeah,
So then, you know, it is something, it is a matter of choice, as you were saying. It's not as if someone is like, oh, you're expected to do this. But it is a case of, I think you're so exhausted from the game, from getting the platinum, that to then go and do like a new game plus, it's so much to kind
yeah,
of like another hurdle, and they are just kind of tacked on long after release, because sometimes, you know, some games you just don't feel like coming back to after a long pause. Like you'd
mm,
rather knock it out kind of in quick succession while you're still kind of fresh with the game.
yeah,
But that's just something I find. I understand developers wanting to maybe entice players to experience it all over again. But
yeah,
a lot of times, like a new game plus modes, it really is just the same fundamental experience. I mean,
mm,
I always think like I'm making a video on Spider-Man on PS1, and
mm,
they had a what if mode. So if you went into like the second playthrough, you've got all the costumes, and they made all these like funny little Easter egg changes in the second playthrough. And I
yeah,
just thought that's just so fun. Like it's so daft, but the fact that at least the second playthrough, it is fundamentally the same experience, but there's so many little Easter eggs and little jokes and have a little fun with the story.
Yes, yeah.
That it actually makes it very worthwhile to, go through it all again.
It's a really interesting point. I've played that game a long time ago, but I didn't remember that mode. But I like the idea of having it shaken up a little bit. The game that always springs to my mind, that a game that I'm always happy to do a new game plus in, is any of the Souls like games,
Yeah,
Souls
exactly. Yeah.
series or any of the Souls likes, because it kind of it's part and parcel of the experience, because the game ramps up that difficulty on your next playthrough. And of course, the boss souls are always going to be connected with different weapons and spells. So if you want everything, you need to do the bosses. You need to complete them multiple times anyway. So the new game modes there are kind of made for that. It's structured around having a new game plus. But again, say a game like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, those games aren't story centric. So after you've played through like the Dark Souls game, you're playing it because of the gameplay for the most part, But with a game like Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, Horizon, even Spider-Man, they're games that you generally, the first order of business is the story, It's a story-centric game. You want to experience that story. So then the new game plus doesn't really add anything to the story. It just makes you sit through it again,
No, I see what you mean, but again, I would raise another Spider-Man game, Spider-Man the movie from 2002, and you could replay the whole story, but as the Green Goblin. Which completely changed like just the whole dynamic of the game. And also games like Metal Gear Solid 2, where you could have the secret theater, or change the skins of certain characters. So I mean, say in Spider-Man 2018, it would be kind of cool if you had the option New Game Plus where Doc Ock or Rhino or any of the enemies, you could choose different outfits for them, maybe customize where just like, I know what you mean with the story, and you are kind of tied in regards to the story, that it still has to be told even in like New Game Plus. But I feel like older games were better at kind of allowing you to use that second playthrough to just have a bit of fun with it, because you've seen the experience as it was intended. Now let's just go a bit mad. Oh, do you want to change the look of one of the enemies? Fine. If you want to change like the look of characters and cutscenes, fine. And I just appreciate that element of older games.
Like Uncharted does that, when you get the cheats and stuff. I think that is definitely, the way that it should be structured. There should be extra content there, but then in the examples that I suppose the big first party Sony games there isn't. They're just sorely lacking any additional content. It's just play the game again, and that's
in
the
case
problem.
Of Days Gone, they remove the HUD and fast travel, so you're actually playing it with less features, than the first experience. It's I definitely think it's here to stay, or at least
seems to be.
It's in vogue. Maybe us as trophy hunters in 50 years ago, do you remember in the late 10s and 20s? Oh, they were mad for that New Game Plus. I'll tell you, you have to get right back on it. As soon as you plat it, you're right back in there. So what would be your final thoughts, or what would you say to developers or about?
I think the point that you made there about say playing again as the Green Goblin, that reminds me of one of my favorite games. It's an older game called Enclave, and after you finish the game,
that's a good game.
Yeah, it's really good. After you finish the game, you got to do the whole game again, but as the dark side of the group. So there was so all the enemies that you'd be fighting throughout the game, you then switched, and then you got to choose any of them to play at. Any game that does that shakes things up, even if it's the same maps, even if it's the same story. Getting to see it from a
difference. Even the illusion of difference is different enough.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that gives you that some kind of an incentive to see extra things, try out extra powers. There's definitely something to be said for having an extra game playthrough with all your abilities unlocked off the bat. But, you know, say for Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, for example, it doesn't really fundamentally change the game, even if you have all your skills. You know, it's still the same game.
I'm starting to think that maybe just open world games don't lend themselves well to New Game Plus.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I
those
think that's
linear
true.
games were a lot more focused, and that also gave the developers a bit more of a focus on what they could change up for New Game Plus. But like open world games are always so big and kind of bloated with side activities that it's kind of like it probably in their eyes just enough just to throw the player back in just a bit stronger with different weapons,
Yeah.
and they feel like that is worth applying a trophy to. I will finish Days Gone.
Yeah.
I will get.
I'm going to go back to
Plus
Ghost
trophy.
of Tsushima as well, because I'm going to play it on the PS5 because people say it's
Out
a
of
different
spite.
level.
Out of
Yeah.
spite.
Well, like I think it is definitely one of those games that just looks so good that it will be worth playing through again on the upgraded hardware, because it was super impressive on the PS4, so I can't wait to see it on the PS5.
I can imagine you loading it up on PS5, just looking at it going, that's still shit, and then just immediately turning
Like,
it
I
off.
won't be doing any side activities at all. It'll just be a bolt to the finish if I do.
Bold to the finish. So guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you think of New Game Plus trophies. Do you think that they're a good thing, or do you think that they should be completely shot out to space and completely erased from the trophy hunting community? So don't forget to maybe drop us a cheeky like, maybe a cheeky subscription. Who knows? Do you.
A new game plus for Platinums.
Oh, 3 extra lives. Well, anyway, good luck with Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm
And Days
gonna
Gone.
suffer on with Days Gone. I don't even have the heart just thinking of it. Oh God, fuck Deacon.
You fucking bastard.
Plat.